Keir Starmer isn't smashing the gangs, he's smashing the records. It looks extremely like that this week the small boat arrivals will have reached all-time highs as the Prime Minister bumbles around trying to make a single one of his policies work. Well, I'm Alex Armstrong and this is GB News Originals. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like this video. As Britain bakes in a heatwave, the channel is hotter than ever. No, not the Sunseekers, but with a surge of small boats, each one a glaring symbol of a government in crisis. Over 19,000 arrivals already this year. It's not a trickle, that is a torrent. And Starmer's one in, one out plan is looking more like an all in, nothing out as the EU turns its back and the French police are left paddling in circles. You can almost picture the scene in Downing Street, can't you? The Prime Minister, sleeves all rolled up, watching the numbers tick higher and higher, knowing that he's on track to set a record no leader wants to own. The Channel crossings aren't just a political headache, though. They're a full-blown migraine for the rest of us, and the pain is spreading fast. Now, about that much-hyped one in, one out deal with France. Well, Starmer pitched it as the grown-up solution. For every migrant sent back, Britain would take a legal asylum seeker. Well, nobody wants any more migrants, let alone a one in, one out policy, Prime Minister. But even so, the EU has given it the cold shoulder, with member states already saying that this is not something they have agreed to, and France is hardly rolling out the red carpet. Instead, we've got more French police on the beaches. But does anyone believe that's going to stem the tide? The shallow waters policy, the idea the French police will be able to tackle the small boats in a little, up to 50 metres, I believe, a little bit off of the beach, is a shallow, leaky bucket itself. And the smugglers know every single hole in the plan, don't they? The reality, the crossings are happening in broad daylight. We saw them live on GB News not that long ago. Boats, lifeboats being sent out to collect them. Sometimes, of course, and very often, right in front of the face of the authorities on both sides of the channel. The boats are getting bigger, the journeys are getting bolder, and the headlines are getting grimmer. And as the temperature soars here in the UK, so is the political pressure. Starmer's left with a deal nobody else wants, a border that is porous as ever, and a public that is clearly losing patience, even more so by the day, if you hadn't lost your patience already. And let's not forget the human cost. Every crossing is a gamble with lives at stake. Many people have already died while governments decide and fumble around about what to do to keep their international friends in the courts happy. The Channel is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, and these boats are barely more than inflatables you'd see at a seaside shop. But as long as the weather holds and the pull factors remain, British jobs, British benefits, British streets paved with gold, the crossings will of course continue, won't they? The government can talk tough, but unless there's a genuine, coordinated response, not just by the UK, but by the European Union as well, these numbers are heading only one way, and that's up. And what about the so-called deterrents? Have we got any, frankly? Well, we've seen everything from floating barriers to new legislation, from tough talk in Parliament to tearful interviews on the news. But the numbers just keep on rising. Why? Because the incentives haven't changed. The smugglers are still making fortunes. It's $1 billion industry. The migrants are still desperate and the system is still broken. It's like trying to bail out a sinking boat with a teaspoon. Now, let's zoom out for a moment, because this problem isn't just a British problem. Italy, Greece, Spain, they're all facing similar pressures. But here is the difference. They're working with the neighbours, not just against them, and they are coordinating their responses. Britain, on the other hand, seems determined to go it alone, to draw up deals that no one else wants to sign. The result? More boats, more arrivals, more headlines, and more political pain for Keir Starmer. And even the policies we do draw up ourselves, well, they're just ineffective. Smashing the gangs. What happened to that? I don't know a single gang that's been smashed. I think we only heard from the Prime Minister that 2 men had been arrested. It's just not good enough. And you can't go into government after pledging that you would stop this crisis, after calling out the Tories for not dealing with it, and actually having no plan, and then removing the only deterrent we had, which was the Rwanda deal. Absolute nonsense. And let's talk about those numbers, shall we? Over 19,000 arrivals so far this year. That's more than the population of some British towns. Every time a new record is set, the government's credibility just takes one more beating, doesn't it? The public has lost patience, the opposition is sharpening its knives, and the Prime Minister is left sweating in this soaring heat, hoping for a miracle that is never going to come. So what's the answer, Prime Minister? More patrols, more deals with France, more money spent on useless policies, more rhetoric? Or will you do the right thing and have a fundamental rethink of your plan? Because right now, the only thing that's moving faster than the boats in the Channel is the blame game in Westminster. We're sick of hearing it. We don't want to hear the Tory crisis. We don't want to hear that you're smashing the gangs. We want you to do something. We want you to get on with the job you were elected to do. So let's be clear. This is a crisis of leadership, a crisis of policy, and a crisis, simply put, of compassion. It's easy to point fingers. It's very easy to blame everyone but yourselves, including the weather. But at the end of the day, it is the British government's job, and they are accountable to you, the British people. And right now, the government is failing, and it's failing fast. It's only been in office for a year, hasn't it? As the sun beats down and the crossings climb higher, the question remains, will anything really change? Do you believe that? I want to hear what you think in the comments. Or we'll be back here tomorrow, won't we? Probably counting boats, counting arrivals, and counting, of course, the inevitable political cost. One thing is for sure, in this heat, in this glorious weather, the only thing melting faster than the ice creams on Dover's seafront is the government and Keir Starmer's credibility on the Channel crisis. And so, as the headlines roll in and the boats just keep coming, the Prime Minister is left with a choice. Double down on your failed smash the gangs policies, or finally do the right thing and be honest with the public and admit their current approach isn't working. Because if nothing changes, nothing at all changes, then the British public will simply just deserve better than a summer of empty promises and just rising numbers. So as the temperature rises and the political pressure mounts, one thing is certain: the Channel crisis isn't going anywhere, and neither, it seems, are the boats. Stay tuned to GB News, because I can guarantee you we're going to be breaking record numbers over the coming days and weeks. Thank you for tuning in. I've been Alex Armstrong, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the GB News YouTube channel.